2 minutes, 57 seconds. 2 minutes, 57 seconds. Again, 2 minutes, 57 seconds. So, if you've been living under a rock for the last 5 hours or so, or you haven't been online, or you just didn't read what the title of this is, Goldberg is your new Universal Champion. He beat the Fiend in Saudi Arabia earlier today in the main event in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Why? So I wrote down here exactly what the match was. Exactly how it was laid out. Spear, Fiend kicked out. Mandible claw, Goldberg powers out. 3 spears. So now we're up to 4 total spears. The Fiend kicked out. Again, kind of infuriated Goldberg. Another mandible claw, Goldberg powers out. And then a jackhammer, or lack of a jackhammer, if you watched it was kind of a suplex. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg pins the unbeatable, the unpinnable monster Fiend. So clearly, Goldberg cannot work long matches. We've seen this. He tried to do it last time in Saudi Arabia against The Undertaker, and they damn near killed each other. We know that he cannot work long matches. His match at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar was somewhere in the vicinity of 6 minutes. It was just 2 titans just colliding. We've had him in just a quick shock match, which may have been 90 seconds, 60 seconds. It was not long against Brock Lesnar when he won the title the first time back. So why do we expect, rumor is, he's going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Why do we expect, or why does Vince expect, that he's going to be able to put on a classic match against Roman Reigns? Or is this one of those situations where we're not looking for a classic match, we're looking for the big dog to put down Goldberg quickly? Are we really looking at a spear versus spear match? I mean, yeah, Goldberg has peaked some of the ratings over the last few weeks, but is that enough to take the Universal title off of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, a money-making machine, a character that has been built and built and built for exactly this moment, to go into WrestleMania and have somebody take the title off him, a worthy opponent? Not to say Goldberg's not worthy, but he's 53 years old. This doesn't seem right. Something seems off. This seems like, hey, let's bring back the nostalgia act and let's put it on them because that's good. I am just as big of a Goldberg fan as the next guy, but I'm also a Fiend fan as well. The Fiend is one of those characters that we only get once a generation. The last time we had something like this, something this captivating, was the beginning phases of The Undertaker. Lest we forget what The Fiend is all about. This is something that has been built for almost a year. Was in a really, really bad Hell in a Cell match that actually had Seth Rollins throw everything at him, including hit the monster with a sledgehammer while there was a ladder on his face, while there was a toolbox on his face. He hit the sledgehammer, or excuse me, he used the sledgehammer to hit the toolbox. He was then in a match that had somewhere around 1,700 stomps, got through them all. He was then in kind of a throwaway match against The Miz, who maybe that was just to turn The Miz heel because everybody that The Fiend goes up against, they change. And then he was in a hellacious strap match against Daniel Bryan, which, I mean, this is a man that just doesn't sell finishes. So 2 minutes, 57 seconds. Why? And now to seemingly have that thrown away because creative or Vince or the powers that be want to take ratings on SmackDown and put them above what possibly could have been an epic match between Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and potentially Roman Reigns. Given what will end up happening at Elimination Chamber, all signs are seemingly pointing to Roman Reigns. So now, with the Fiends potentially out of the picture, where does he go? Because at the end of the match, WWE did what they could to try to make him look strong. He essentially no-sold the jackhammer. About a minute after it happens, it was a little too late for that, but he essentially did no-sell it. He stood up. Goldberg was at the turnbuckle celebrating with the fans, doing his pose, doing his thing, and the Fiend stood up and you thought something was going to happen. You just felt something was going to happen. Then the lights went out and they came back on and he was gone. So it was kind of this spooky thing where the Fiend is gone. Was he really there? Was he ever there? Did Goldberg actually beat the Fiend? Because he just vanished after the match. Thin air, not there. And Goldberg, just kind of no-sells it. It's like, oh, that's some kind of weird thing. All right, let's continue celebrating. I'm on my way to WrestleMania. So with that being said, tomorrow night, assuming they all get back to the States, John Cena is to be on SmackDown from Boston for the first time in months, I believe. And we're going to see where he's going to go in terms of WrestleMania, because one can only assume he is coming back. It is WrestleMania season. One can only assume he will be back for WrestleMania. Do we get The Fiend versus John Cena? There is one aspect that hasn't been broached, hasn't been crossed, and it is The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Prior to this, rumors were that John Cena was going to take on Elias. Okay, no one really cares. Who really wants to see that? Now, with The Fiend potentially out of the title picture, assuming he doesn't get a rematch, but, a few years back it was determined there are no automatic rematches. You move on to the next one. So, assuming we are keeping that philosophy intact, John Cena in the past has been one of those devils in Bray Wyatt's past, you could say. And if you look at everything that Bray Wyatt's been doing, he's been hearkening back on various past experiences with his other life and his other character and bringing them in. John Cena is a pretty big one. So the road that we seem to be going down is The Fiend versus John Cena and Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. In my opinion, I pretty well believe that John Cena versus The Fiend match would have been better with the title. I don't think we necessarily needed to go the route that we did. The match was just terrible. It just not up to standards of what they have been allowing The Fiend to do. Hate the road that we had to take to get there. I understand it, but I hate it. And the outcome, 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Why? Why are we trying to kill a man that has built a character and gotten over essentially on his own? That's what they do. You're not part of the system, they're going to shut you down. Now, tomorrow night on SmackDown, we'll really find out what the next step is going to be. Elimination Chamber is in less than 2 weeks. These things just keep firing out. Way too many. The Saudi Arabia shows seem to be getting in the way of the classic build to WrestleMania that we used to get. They're just smack dab in the middle. It used to be, oh, it's here. It's kind of a throwaway show. Now they seem to want to get people to pay attention to them, and this is how they're unfortunately doing it. So if you like what you heard and you like what you saw, please hit that like button. It helps out a lot. Subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.